Hola amigos, hello friends, welcome to this session of Learning Spanish. ¿Qué tal? ¿Todo bien? Well, in the last session we have seen how to describe a person physically and also with some of important adjectives which we use to describe the nature of the person. We provided many conversations in different situations and learned important expressions and their usage appropriately in a sentence. I hope you have been able to learn the same and internalize the expressions which are important and useful in communicating your point of view. In today's session, we shall look at some important expressions which are necessary when you make a visit to a doctor for health related issues. We'll again see different conversations pertaining to this situation and find out important terms in the formulation of questions and responding to them. Let us start with this simple conversation between two friends, Juan and Ravi. Ravi asks Juan, ¿Qué pasa? ¿No te encuentras bien? And Juan complains, saying, Me duele muchísimo la cabeza. Ravi, ¿Quieres una aspirina? Juan says, Es que no tomo nunca. Ravi asks, ¿Y por qué no vas al médico? Juan says, Sí, si sigo así, voy. Now, what's wrong? Aren't you well? That's what Ravi asks Juan. Juan complains, saying, My head is aching a lot. And Ravi asks him, Do you want an aspirin? And Juan says, I never take it. So Ravi suggests, Why don't you go to a doctor? And he says, Yes, if it continues, I will do. Let us look at some micro conversations wherein one is expressing pain, ache, or a fever, or anything related to health. Hola Juan, ¿qué te pasa? No tienes buena cara. No tienes buena cara. What happened? You have such a sad face. And he replies, Sí, Anand, no estoy bien. Creo que es la gripe. ¿Has tomado algo? No, nada. Tengo que ir al médico. So, in this conversation between two friends, you have seen that the other friend is noticing that he is not keeping well. So, when he asks what is wrong with him, he says, Es la gripe. La gripe is the cold. He says, It's cold. I have cold. And he says, Have you taken any medicines? He says, No, I have to go to the doctor. Now, there is another conversation here between a mother and a child. Mamá y el niño. The child says, Mamá, tengo mucho dolor del estómago. Tengo mucho dolor del estómago. Ah, mi cariño. A ver, ¿dónde te duele? A ver, ¿dónde te duele? ¿Aquí? Aquí, mamá. Ay, qué daño. Vale, niño, te doy una pastilla. Espera. So here the child expresses his mother saying that he has a tummy ache. So the mother checks with him and says, I shall give you a tablet. Now here is another conversation between a girl and the doctor. So the doctor says, ¿Cómo va todo? How is everything going? The girl says, Perfecto, doctor, mucho mejor. El régimen que me recomienda usted es estupendo. El régimen que me recomienda usted es estupendo. Ahora peso mucho menos. Estoy perdiendo bastantes kilos. El médico dice, muy bien, señorita. Entonces, siga con el mismo régimen. No voy a cambiar nada. La chica dice, muchas gracias, señor. So here in the conversation, could you follow what is it happening between the girl and the doctor? The girl says that the diet which the doctor recommended is working very well with her and she has lost several kilos. So the doctor says you continue the diet that I prescribed and you will be much better. He also said, no voy a cambiar nada. That is, I'm not going to change anything. So, you have seen different conversations in different medical situations. Now, here is another one. Un hombre con el médico. A gentleman with the doctor. The gentleman says, buenas tardes, doctor. Buenas tardes. Good evening, doctor. And the doctor says, buenas tardes. ¿Qué problema tiene usted? And the man says, doctor, últimamente me encuentro un poco débil. No sé qué me pasa. Últimamente. Of late, I feel quite weak and I don't know what's happening to me. And the doctor says, déjeme examinarle. Respire bien. Saque la lengua. Saque la lengua hacia mí. ¿Usted fuma? El hombre dice, sí, señor, 1 o 2 paquetes al día. 2 paquetes al día. Tiene que dejar de fumar. Poco a poco. Voy a recetarle algunas pastillas para una semana. Vuelva a verme la próxima semana. Vale, gracias, doctor. You have noticed from these conversations that our friend has visited the doctor complaining that he is feeling weak. And the doctor examines him. He says, respire bien. Take a deep breath. Saque la lengua. Sacar is to take out. Saque la lengua is take out your tongue. Mire hacia mí. Mire, look towards me. And then he asks him, ¿Usted fuma? Do you smoke? And he says, yes, doctor, 2 packets per day. My God, you have to stop smoking little by little. So this is how the conversation went on between the doctor and the gentleman. You have noticed from these conversations, our friends have visited the doctor for several reasons. To begin with, let us look at the various ways of inquiring about the health of other person. So how do you ask? You ask, ¿Cómo estás? In tu form, that is in informal situation, you say, ¿Cómo estás? And in formal situation, you ask, ¿Cómo está? ¿Qué te pasa? What's happened to you? Or what's happening to you? ¿Qué le pasa usted? No tienes buena cara. You don't have a pleasant face, or you don't feel all right. ¿Cómo andas? Or ¿Cómo anda? How are you doing? And in reply, if you're not well, you say, no estoy bien or no me encuentro bien. So the verb here is encontrarse bien o encontrarse mal. Is to be all right or not to be all right. Now, encontrarse, as you can see, is an AR ending verb. It's a reflexive verb, se, because of encontrarse. You have already learned the reflexive verbs. So, encontrar, since it is irregular, it is conjugated as me encuentro, te encuentras, se encuentra, nos encontramos, os encontráis, se encuentran. So, you look at the exercises and learn it quite well. Now, encontrarse bien o mal is to be alright or not to be alright. But, ojo, careful, encontrarse con alguien means to meet someone. So, remember, if you want to say I'm fine, you just say me encuentro bien o no me encuentro bien. But if you want to say I'm meeting someone, you will say me encuentro con la profesora. I'm meeting the professor. So, be careful in using encontrar and encontrarse. Encontrar, just without the reflexive se, means to find. Suppose you are looking for something and you say no lo encuentro, which means I am not finding it. So, careful in using the verb encontrar, encontrarse, encontrarse bien, encontrarse con alguien. I hope you got the subtle differences by now. Now, let me explain to you the words dolor and doler. The child says, tengo dolor de cabeza o tengo dolor de estómago. So, dolor is the word for pain and doler is the verb which means to pain. It works like the verb gustar. You remember the verb gustar? We did when we discussed about what one likes and what one doesn't like. So, similarly, the verb doler is conjugated like the verb gustar. So, you say only duele or duelen with the indirect object pronouns, that is me duele, te duele, le duele, nos duele, os duele, les duele, or me duelen, te duelen, le duelen, nos duelen, os duelen, les duelen. The other verbs used to express pain are tener. So, you have whole lot of expressions used with the verb tener. Tener tos is to have cough. Tener gripe is to have cold. I have cold, tengo gripe. Or with estar, estar resfriado, etc. Now, you can also use dolor or doler. Dolor is the noun and doler is the verb. So, you say tengo dolor de and the part of the body. So, you conjugate the verb tener plus dolor, the noun, plus de and plus the different part of the body. Here is a table which explains clearly how to say I have pain or I am not well, I have cold, etc. Take a good look at it. You say me duele la cabeza. A Juan le duele la espalda. No puede escribir. Juan has pain in his shoulder. He is not able to write. A mi niño le duelen las muelas. A mi niño le duelen las muelas. My son has pain in his teeth. Les duelen los oídos. A los niños les duelen los oídos. The children have problem in their ears, or their ears are aching. Estoy enferma. Estoy enferma. I am ill or I am sick. I am feeling sick. ¿Está la madre bien? Sí, sí, está bien. El padre no está bien. Está enfermo. The father is ill or the father is feeling sick. Estoy resfriado o resfriada, to have or to feel cold. Similarly, you have tengo fiebre, tengo tos. Tengo tos, I have cough. Tiene gripe is he has flu or influenza. So you have me duele or tengo dolor de. You can express it either way. Let us look at some examples using these expressions. When we are suffering from headache, we say tengo dolor de cabeza o me duele la cabeza. Both the expression mean the same. I have a headache. Tengo dolor de muelas o me duelen las muelas. I have a toothache. Please note that we have used duelen because muelas is in plural. So like gustar, as I told you, if whatever you are talking of is in plural, it takes duelen, and if it is in singular, it takes duele. So for the body parts which are plural, we will be using me duelen or te duelen. Si camino mucho, me duelen las piernas. If I walk a lot, I get pain in my legs. And for singular one, you just use me duele. Me duele el estómago. Me duele la cabeza. Me duelen los oídos, etc. Let's look at another conversation between Dr. Lopez and a child. Dr. Lopez is greeting the child saying, Hola, ¿qué te duele? ¿Qué te duele? What is that is paining you? The child says, Me duele todo el cuerpo. Tengo dolor de cabeza, de piernas, de garganta. And Dr. Lopez says, También tienes dolor de espalda. Child says, Sí, sí, doctor. Dr. Lopez says, Voy a ver. Respira hondo. Así, suelta el aire despacio. Eso es. No tienes nada grave. No tienes nada grave. It's nothing serious. Solo una fuerte gripe. A very strong cold. Te voy a recetar unas pastillas. I'm going to prescribe some tablets. Tienes que descansar bien. You need to take lot of rest. And the child asks, ¿No puedo salir a jugar? Can't I go to play? Yo quiero jugar con mis amigos. I want to play with my friends. Doctor says, no pienses en salir a la calle para un par de días. Don't think of going out to play for a couple of days. Un par de días. ¿De acuerdo? Is that okay? And the child says, Vale, doctor. Okay, doctor. So you now understand how these conversations go on using the expressions doler, pasar, etc. Now there is another conversation we shall look at where Maria, who is sick, went to the clinic of Dr. Gutierrez. María está enferma y va a una clínica. Y María dice, quisiera ver el doctor Javier Gutiérrez si es posible. Y la enfermera es the nurse, dice, lo siento, está ocupado. ¿Tiene cita? ¿Tiene usted cita? No, pero no me encuentro muy bien, me encuentro muy mal. Ahora mismo le aviso. Y el doctor la examina y dice, ¿qué le pasa? Y María le explica, tengo fiebre alta, temblores y me duele el estómago. ¿Le ha sentado algo mal? No, he comido como siempre y llevo 2 días así. Tiene 40 grados centígrados de fiebre. Veamos la tensión. La tengo normalmente poco baja. Y el médico dice, voy a hacer unos análisis y un chequeo general. Un chequeo general, a routine check. So you have seen what the doctor has done in case of Maria, has done analysis and has done a routine check. In the above example, you must have observed some expressions when you make a visit to the doctor. Here, let us learn a few body parts in Spanish, how they are called, and some of them are given in the exercises you can learn. La boca is mouth, and the doctor says, for example, abre bien la boca, abre bien la boca, open the mouth big. Cabeza, you have seen this word cabeza, me duele la cabeza, cabeza is head. La cara, no tiene buena cara, you don't have a very happy face. La cara is face. Cerebro is the brain and corazón is heart. So, un ataque de corazón, you know what it is? It's a heart attack. Mano is hand, dedo is finger. So, if dedo is finger, how do you make the plural? Yes, by adding S. Dedos are fingers. And estómago, you can guess, yes, it's stomach. Espalda is back. You have more parts of the body in the exercises. You can study them carefully and learn them. Let's look at one more long conversation between doctor and patient in which the doctor is asking about different symptoms which the patient has, and the patient is responding to all the questions one after the other. La doctora says, la doctora, buenos días, pase, siéntese por favor. And the paciente says, buenos días, señora. Cuénteme. El doctor dice, cuénteme. A ver, dígame. No me encuentro bien. Creo que me he resfriado. Me he resfriado. I think I've got cold. El doctor le pregunta, ¿qué síntomas tiene? La paciente dice, me duele la garganta y toso con frecuencia. Estoy bastante cansado. Doctora dice, ¿tiene fiebre? ¿Le duele la cabeza? Y paciente dice, no. ¿Se suena a menudo la nariz? Y paciente dice, bastante. Ya he gastado 2 paquetes de pañuelos. ¿Se suena la nariz? Significa running nose. And the patient is explaining, yeah, I have already spent 2 packets of tissues. Bueno, voy a verle la garganta. Puede abrir la boca, baje la lengua. El paciente lo hace. Bien, está irritada y roja. ¿Le duele el pecho? El pecho is the chest. So, do you have a pain in your chest? Paciente dice, no. Voy a auscultarle el pecho. Respire fondo. Inspire. Expire. Otra vez. Inspire. Expire. Una vez más. Sí. ¿Usted fuma? Dice, no, no fumo. Es grave, doctora. No parece. Es un resfriado típico de estas fechas, de esta época. Enero y febrero son malos meses. Paciente le pregunta, ¿qué tengo que hacer? What should I do? These are the bad months, January and February. It is invierno. You have learned this. Invierno is winter. So the patient is asking, ¿qué tengo que hacer? What do I have to do? And the doctora says, tiene que abrigarse y guardar reposo en casa. Beber mucho líquido, zumos, un caldo caliente le sentará muy bien. Aquí tiene 2 recetas, unas pastillas para el malestar y un jarabe para la tos. Tómese una pastilla y una cucharada de jarabe cada 8 horas. Si dentro de 3 días no se siente mejor, venga, consulta de nuevo. So the doctor prescribed the patient some medicines and asked the patient to visit him or her again if they don't get better in a couple of days. So paciente says, muy bien, doctora, muchas gracias. Now, you have noticed that in the conversation we had seen just now, there are a lot of imperatives that are used. Saque la lengua, inspire, expire. So, whenever the doctor is giving instructions, he uses the verbs in imperative form. Depending on the context, if it's a formal context, the imperatives used are in usted, and if it is an informal context, the imperatives used are in tu form. You have seen now how the doctor also has given prescription of medicines, dos recetas. As this conversation pertains to a formal category or a formal situation, you see that throughout there was only usted being used either to the doctor or to the patient. I hope you have followed today's lesson on how to express any pain or ache that one feels and how to visit a doctor, what is the protocol there. To summarize, in today's lesson, we have learned to converse with a doctor in case of a medical necessity. We also saw some examples using the verb doler and verbs tener, estar, etc. in the conversations we have read out. In the next chapter with some more interesting things, we'll be back. For now, practice all the exercises given in the lesson, and I'm sure you're making good progress in learning Spanish. Muchas gracias. Hasta luego. Que se cuiden. Take care. Buena suerte. Adiós. Hasta luego.